we did see a new market coming from the West Coast. For those who had never been to Los Cabos, had suddenly opened their eyes to what was available to them. So it was interesting because we have a new market.
Yeah, it's I've seen it here from a real estate perspective and also vacation rental perspective that tourism, as Rodrigo could attest to, is higher than ever for the Los Cabos area.
Welcome to the Nick Fong Podcast. As the broker and owner of Ronival Real Estate, Nick has spent nearly 20 years in Baja California, sir. And in this podcast, he'll be talking everything Baja, from food and culture to real estate and property management. And now, here's your host, Nick Fong.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today, our special guest is Susie Albin-Najera. And Susie, where are you right now?
I am in our Los Angeles office of Los Cabos Tourism Board, although it looks like I'm in sunny Los Cabos.
That background looks like Palmilla, is that correct?
It is. Good eye.
Yeah, so Susie, we only have communicated by email and text message up until this podcast, but
Yes.
we're connected in social media and we're seeing what each other do. Tell everyone what your position is with the Los Cabos Tourism Board.
Sure. Well, we started the LA office of Los Cabos Tourism Board in 2019. So it's been over 3 years, and I run our LA office. It's just me here, but I have a full agenda of a schedule for each year, and I operate accordingly. So I am based here in LA, which is our number one market. And part of what I do is sustain the business coming from the West Coast, although it's not entirely, West Coast focused. The focus is, all of the U.S. that I'm, responsible for. But the primary objective is, to nurture this market here, because this is a natural market for Los Cabos.
100% with the daily flights, and it's a quick direct flight. And a lot of our clients are coming from LA, Southern California, all throughout California. And in the 3 years that you've been in the role running the LA office, what trends have you seen in terms of tourism for Americans coming to Cabo?
Yes, it's so interesting because in 2019, when I came on board, the trajectory was very positive, and that's one of the reasons. And also because the Mexico tourism boards had dissolved in 2019. So there was no more physical offices here for the Mexico tourism board. So Los Cabos tourism boards, said we definitely need presence. We need a physical presence for our board. Rodrigo Esponda, our managing director, came to Los Angeles, and we basically started this office here in LA. But as far as trends, this is pre-pandemic, but then, as you know, COVID happened, and interestingly enough, Los Cabos and Mexico in general, particularly Los Cabos, was only closed for just about a month or two. The rest of the time we were open. So we were basically one of the only destinations in the world to be open. And so we did see a new type of traveler to Los Cabos. But even before that, we implemented very strict health and safety protocols for our return guests. And also we did see a new market coming from the West Coast. For those who had never been to Los Cabos, had suddenly opened their eyes to what was available to them. So it was interesting because we have a new market.
Yeah, it's I've seen it here from a real estate perspective and also vacation rental perspective that tourism, as Rodrigo could attest to, is higher than ever for the Los Cabos area. Is the LA office the only one in the United States?
Yes.
Is there ideas of branching into other markets, or is LA kind of like the hub and you just kind of go to the different areas from there?
Yes, it is primarily like the North America or the the US hub for Los Cabos tourism. And it allows us to work with several markets, US, Canada, Mexico, international, domestic. It allows our presence to be catering to either the B2B or B2C markets, and it allows us the opportunity to be there for the travel industry who sell the destination, to be there to provide education, training, updates, communication, opportunity, things like that, fam trips. There's so much. I mean, during the pandemic, I was so busy. I think I was busier than ever, hosting fam trips and bringing down the travel agent and advisor community, because it was important that they see our protocols in place. And, that's one thing I'm so proud of the destination. Not only the tourism board, but the hotel association and many other associations came together so quick. And as you know, when COVID testing had to be a requirement, a negative COVID test to return to the States, all of the hotels implemented the testing on site within days of that announcement from the CDC. So I would say it was a fairly seamless process, and it was so helpful because it was like a one-liner. You don't have to worry about where you're going to get tested because all of the hotels offer on-site testing. So that was really something that was good for the travel advisors to know. So you can only imagine how much, they had to absorb during the pandemic, whether their business was crashing or they were trying to stay afloat. They were trying to see who was open, who was closed, what health, protocols were in place. I mean, it was a madhouse. So
And I heard you use this term, a fam trip. What is that referring to?
a fam trip is a term that is basically abbreviated for familiarization. A familiarization trip that's what it is. It's taking travel advisors who sell Los Cabos, or people who are looking to film in Los Cabos, and that would be kind of like a scouting trip, or those who are influencers, coming to do like a fam trip. So a fam trip is just a familiarization trip. So they get to know, what airlines fly to the destination. How far is it from LA or wherever they're, departing from? What is the arrival process like? What's the airport like? What processes do you go through? And then what's the transfers like? What's the hotel like? What's the destination like? What can you do there? And so it is basically, that is just what it is, familiarizing the travel advisor or the visitor. I mean, not so much visitor, because those are the consumers, but the travel industry, we want them to know about the destination.
And so I see you, the pictures, the videos at different conventions. I mean, are you like every other week somewhere else?
Yeah, I have been. In fact, it's been funny. Like the last 2 weeks, I've specifically stayed put in LA, and I'm like, I'm getting so much work done here in the office. But normally, I mean, I'm multitasking when I travel. But it's important for Los Cabos to be represented, and when I have the opportunity to attend and represent the destination, and educate, encourage people, tell them about our safety, health and safety protocols. It's important that they understand, and it's even more important that they visit so they can see firsthand. They can experience it for themselves. It's not just me telling them, oh, it's safe, this and that. They go and they experience it. And I always do survey feedback from my participants, and that helps us curate future trips, and it's very, very helpful, their feedback. But in 100% of the cases, it helps them do their job better. It helps them feel safe about travel. It helps them, in their process of selling a destination, because travel advisors, they sell all locations, they sell all destinations. So why would they sell Los Cabos? So, this is why relationships.
Hey, thanks for being a part of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast to get the latest updates. And if you're watching this on our social channels, please like and share. And if you want to be featured or you want me to talk on a certain topic, food, activities, culture, real estate in the Baja, drop a comment. Because I'm assuming when you go to these conventions, there's other representatives like yourself from other destinations, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so in your experience and rubbing shoulders with your peers, what are some of the things that you've observed or you've received feedback from others that makes Los Cabos special? Because I've been here for 18 years and I know why it's special, but I also take for granted a lot of things. So what are some of the things that you hear or personally observe?
Well, one of the things that I really admire is, the leadership in the destination. There's, an amazing tourism board that we have that everyone is very innovative, very hardworking, strategic, and then we have a great team. And we work with partners, whether they're airlines, hotels, travel advisors. We work and create strategic partnerships with those, and also with consortia, like luxury consortia, or travel advisor organizations or associations that are quite large. And so we're able to participate very strategically with those organizations and just represent the destination. Because the more you learn about the destination, the more you have facts and communication, the more comfortable you feel. Say if you're a first-time traveler to Los Cabos, you have all the tools at your fingertips in order to enjoy a first-time trip to Los Cabos. One of the things also that is really critical is that we have a good communications team. Like, for example, there was an earthquake not too long ago, a few days ago, I think, and we work with our PR team to put out communication pieces, because when there's anything happening in the destination or Mexico in general, we respond right away with a reactive statement, and we communicate that to our hotel partners, so they're in the know constantly, and so they feel confident about what's happening in the destination. And so I'd say for the most part, it's a pretty seamless communication of what's happening. Um,
So Susie, when was the first time you've been to the destination?
I was there probably a while ago,
A while
in my
ago.
younger years. But I came because I used to be a writer. So I wrote for a travel magazine, and then I went into PR, then marketing, and and tourism. It was all kind of related. But I went, and I stayed at the Las Ventanas, back in the day. But what I observed was that, although honestly, on a probably a weekly basis, I have people saying, oh, they went to Los Cabos when they were a kid with their parents. You see very multi-gen visitors to the destination. And I just think that's so special, because now they're adults and now they take their kids to Los Cabos. And although the destination is constantly reinventing itself, it's constantly growing, it does still have the Baja vibe. People that came and maybe went fishing or, had these special experiences, they can still have that, even though there's been development. And the development is a good thing. There's key stakeholders, but that it means that the destination is well kept, it's safe, it's clean. As we don't allow billboards in the destination. So it's not a flashy destination. It keeps its natural, vibe. It keeps its natural element to it, which I love.
So what are some of the initiatives that you guys are embarking on or in the middle of right now?
There's several. We just are in the process of implementing a 360 virtual tour. So that's going to be new on the website, where if you haven't been to Los Cabos, or you're just considering going to Los Cabos, or you're interested in seeing what to do there, there's going to be a function on our website that you can go and see a 360 virtual tour of it, like Cabo Pulmo, or the waterfall. There's many areas that you could see, and you can look in real time. So I think that's really a nice thing. We also implemented a feature on our website for the travel advisors who sell Los Cabos, for them to enter their bookings. So now they can enter their bookings with a booking number, and we can reward the travel advisors for their bookings. And now it gives us more information, more intel, more data on where the bookings are coming from, who's booking what. Are there more weddings, or are there more groups, more leisure, more luxury? It helps us identify more specifically who's coming to Los Cabos. But there, we've got marketing campaigns. My calendar for 2023 is, it's got a lot on there. So you'll probably continue to see photos, videos, partnerships, and that's important. And, it is such a nice family. You mentioned, going to these conferences and being around other destinations, and there's other hotels, there's activity providers, there's DMCs, there's a lot of different travel partners there. And, you see a lot of the same people, and it's like a big family. So that's one of the things I love. And I've just gotten to know so many people more in depth, in the last few years. And it's not only, just personally great, because you relate so well, like in your industry of real estate. You've seen everything, and who's in real estate, and the product inventory so well, and you've seen it over the years that you've been in Los Cabos. It's kind of like a big family.
That's right.
And you're constantly innovating and doing new things, and ways to inspire people, to love Los Cabos the way you love it.
And I wouldn't have a job. Ronival Real Estate wouldn't exist if it weren't for the tourism. And so the importance that you guys at the Los Cabos Tourism Board have is immeasurable for all of us, right? And so the growth that I've seen in Los Cabos and throughout Baja Sur is incredible. And I know you guys are also involved in bringing new people to the destination, like European influence. And that's like incredible. To see those flights come in is like super exciting.
Yeah, we did have, we had a seasonal flight from Madrid, a nonstop. It was a weekly flight. It started in July, ended in late September. It's coming back in June next year. So it's, a 432 seater coming from Madrid nonstop. So that was, and there's definitely more in development. I know that you've seen, and we've seen a significant increase in private arrivals. We have the 2 private airports. It's been incredible.
So when are you coming to Cabo next?
I just got back from Los Cabos.
You did.
We had the VIP summit, which is meetings and partnerships with our tour operator partners and OTAs, the online travel associations, and the airlines. And, this is also not only the US market, but it's the international market with, a lot coming from Spain or other countries, Brazil. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I hope to see you here in the Baja, or maybe when I go up to LA, I could see you up in LA.
Oh, 100%.
And so I could visit your office, or maybe be at one of your conventions when you're presenting or on a panel discussion.
Exactly. Yes. Our casa here is your casa.
Well, Susie, I appreciate you joining us and sharing a little bit about the Los Cabos Tourism Board with our viewers and listeners. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all you do too.
All right. Take care. Okay. And until the next one, bye for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronival Real Estate, and follow Nick on Instagram at NickFong_Ronival. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronival.com or findmexicohouses.com. Hasta luego.